So technically, what you say, the seed of the film happened about 4 years ago, a little more than that. When I read a story about Mahinder, and coming from Delhi, I knew about this whole using a langur to scare away monkey, but this whole idea that they were now prohibited and under the Wildlife Protection Act, and one can't use a captive langur. So the solution that was there was to train young men to do this kind of job. And then you wondered why this kind of solution, and then you met people and did some basic research and all, and we found out that it was done at the back of a lot of things. They've tried so many things, and hit and trial, somebody gets upset, sometimes it's too bold for animal rights activists, sometimes it's too this much for religious people, so the authorities are really in a limbo here. Matters have gone to court, and it's a big thing. When you talk about it, seems frivolous and all that, but coming at the back of so many things, and where bureaucracy is involved, judiciary is involved, government is involved, executive is involved. So it just, for me and Shubham, it became like one, how do I put it? In a nutshell, it became the absurd Kafkaesque situation that it is. And for many years, it's been bothering us about the kind of world we're living in and what is changing on an everyday basis and how it is changing. And to top it all, this became a contract labor job, which is anyways has its own set of problems which people have been talking about for years now. तो आप उसको रेक्टिफाई करने की बजाय आप और एम्बिट बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं उसका. So it's again exactly opposite चीज़ें हो रही हैं, but what is the solution, nobody seems to know. But this was what sort of made us go beyond this whole idea of ki Mahinder or this job. Otherwise, again, like I said in the Q&A, there's a lot of this danger of odd job film, so about the job, about this, that, but just that much. And so, thinking about all those things, it sort of, then again, you have to situate this in a world, na? And like for people coming from Delhi, maybe these areas are familiar, but apart from that, these areas, especially Central Delhi, has this weird quality. It's a very familiar image of that North Block, but it's an image. It's never become real, tangible place. It's always been this, this thing which you saw on TV and all that. But the fascinating thing is, because they're so much like us, so it's just lovely to have them in frame, I thought. And also there's some characters associated with the monkey, like with the dog you'll say loyal, cute, helpful, friend. None of these apply to monkeys. They're a nuisance value. They can be scary, and they can be just like rowdy. So all that was interesting, but it also so me and Sumo, the cinematographer of the film, Soumyananda Sahi, so we spoke about this a lot before when we were writing the script, only when I told him the idea and what we wanted to do. Because a lot of people who heard the idea, read the script, generally their idea was कि बंदर तो अलग से शूट होंगे या उसका अलग से शेड्यूल होगा या वो तो बस बात होगी उनकी या एक दो इधर उधर डॉक्यूमेंट्री टाइप फुटेज होगा. I think even Shardul didn't realize what we were planning to do with him. So because otherwise point nahi hai. That's the only thing where you go on front foot saying it's like if you're making a film about this, then it better be, by lack of a better word, just you should go for it. No, be on the front foot and say ki, because even if you fail, then it'll be okay only, I think. Because if we restricted ourselves on that count, we wouldn't have been able to mount the film at all. There would have been no launching pad for the characters, for the situation, the absurdity, all these things, the satire that we were talking about. So it was very, very important. So me and someone had spoken about, okay, can we do something with lensing? How do we do this? And me and Shubham had spent a lot of time with Mahinder and just trying to preempt what can we do, and shooting on a phone, small DSLRs, figuring how we could make a sequence with them. One odd shot I didn't want. I wanted sequences. At the same time, there's always this thought of what film is possible right now. If it's a fiction, it'd be a fiction. If it's a non-fiction, but you need to constantly be thinking about making films, and so which film is possible, what is possible. And now with this whole technology that we have at our hand with these cameras and all that, it's really, we can push that understanding of what is representational reality in films and all that, and I think it's happening. So it's this whole docu-fiction, I think Kiarostami's Close-Up had done it in '88, so these are outdated conversations, I feel, because it's like it's bound to happen with the technology that we have. If you have such a big camera, it'll be intimidating. You'll have to sanitize the space. This allows us to work with the space and with the environment, with the people, and people will keep trying out things, and it'll settle down at some point. But I think for few years it'll keep happening, and it also allows you so much freedom. Why would you let go of it until unless every shot has to be choreographed, mise-en-scène, designed, and that is something which also interests me a lot. So it's not about a docu-fiction approach, but for this film, I thought, we invest in people. Those are the resources. Define your resource. That is very important. We let others decide for ourselves what our resources are. They'll say you don't have too much money, you don't have enough actors, you don't have enough equipment. Those are not resources. Those are not real resources. Those are necessary things, and we have to strive to get the best possible that we can. But I think people, if we can figure out who are these people who will help me tell the story, but because you have to tell your own story, nobody else will do it. Because if anybody else was doing it, then why would you want to do it anyways? So I just think that taking one day at a time and just building these kind of resources at hand and just going from there would be a good thing. And because you have the script, which is anyways one tedious thing, and you have to do it one day at a time and just deal with it and negotiate with it. But if you have a core team of people which makes you feel protected, it becomes so much more easier, and you have 10 people to bounce your ideas off. They add, they subtract, they bring more life to it. And because finally we are restricted by our own experiences, if we can reach a stage where we can learn from others' experiences, others' story, it helped me a lot. See, I've never been here before, but through friends and all, like whose films have played in the past years, so there was this constant talk about this festival, which is small, which is intimate, warm. These are the usual words which have been used for DIF always, and talks about like how it was good to, because it is just coming at the back of a Mami, which is such a big festival, important festival, and a very hectic festival, even for the filmmakers, for the audiences. So this becomes a little more, so you can have conversations over periods of time, and people have thought about the film for 2 days, and after that they're coming up to you. So it's just a different tone and tenor of the conversations I found very different and engaging, and which is very rare to find. I remember these were the kind of conversations which attracted us to festivals in Delhi at Ocean and things like that, where we started off. You could watch films for free, you could meet people, you could just directly walk up to the filmmakers, have conversations. There was no distance, there's no intimidation. And you feel so nice. So I think that was the thing I was looking forward to, and it's been more than that actually. So yeah.